Good afternoon and welcome to Locally Hated. I'm Jessica, your podcast host. Where I got Greg with me, of course, and the illustrious Cowboy Clark.
Yeah, right.
Chad, what's up?
Been good. How about y'all?
I've been doing good. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, if you're listening and not watching, I got the Chad Hagan to agree to come sit down and talk with me.
It's just Chad.
No, just Chad. He says just Chad. Okay, so usually what I do is I start like from the beginning. You like when I'm having people on. So you are a Vernon Parish born and raised.
Born and raised.
Okay, so where'd you go to school?
Till the 7th grade, I went to Leesville. And in the middle of my 7th grade year, I transferred to Hicks.
Really? Is that where you finished out?
Then I graduated at Hicks.
I didn't know that. So
Yes,
did y'all move?
No, ma'am. Where my mom and dad lived, you had a choice of going either way. Both school buses come by.
Oh, okay.
So I transferred to Hicks.
So was there just a reason, or was it they had more? Did they have something you were interested in, or?
No, ma'am. I was just more interested in the little country school than the big school.
Yeah.
And I went from where I would have had 300 or 400 or 500 graduate my class. I think in my graduating class there was 18.
Yeah.
And that was more my speed.
I graduated from Anacoco. The same thing. I went to Leesville for like 6 weeks, and but I had been in Anacoco my whole life, so when you go from this little country school where you know everybody to, you couldn't run into the same person twice on any given day. That
was too big for me.
Yeah. I literally, a sink or swim moment. Couldn't do it.
And I begged my parents for years to let me move. And they never would. And I don't know why they finally agreed, but I was glad they did.
Well, out there where y'all live, it would seem more like that would seem more your speed, where you grew up.
Right.
Because you grew up out
All
in that
my
area.
family's from around the Hicks area.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where my dad grew up. Then my mama grew up here in Leesville, right off Highway 28. Her dad used to own a filling station up there at the Y in town, Van West.
The one where the mud bugs used to be?
I think so. It was somewhere in there. Now, I may be wrong. I know he had one, but I don't know exactly where it was. I think it was right in that area somewhere, the mud bugs and the where the tire shop is now. I think it was somewhere in that area. I don't never remember that part. When I come along, he was working at Fort Polk and done got out of that business. So that was when my mom and my uncles was little.
Okay. All right. So he was already moved on from
Moved
there.
on. He was working at Fort Polk. And you could do like clockwork every afternoon when he got off work at Fort Polk at 4 o'clock. By 4:15, he'd come by mom and daddy's, and we and him would either tear up something or we'd go do something, or he would just come by to see what was going on.
So when I was young, my dad had this, I don't even know what year model it was, but there's numerous pictures of it. And he would come home at the same time every day. And he had, I don't know what the scenario was because I am a little bit too young to remember, but I remember pieces. But he had an old pickup truck, like a K1500, and it was big, jacked up, had the, urban
Big
cowboy
truck.
style,
That's right.
with the dual antennas, the whole nine, KC lights. Anyway, I called it the icy truck because now I grew up those couple of years, I was in Pasadena because I was born in Texas. And then, of course, my whole family's from here, but we came back when I was young. So anyway, he would apparently, after he got off work every day, take me and my siblings to go get an icy. And that's why I called it the icy truck. Yeah. So
My grandpa was like that. He taught me to drive. I drove since I was 8 years old. And everywhere we went, me and him went together. I drove. And luckily never got in trouble, never got stopped. And there was many a nights about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'd call him and tell him that my mom and dad didn't feed me and he'd come pick me up. So he would drive up, beat on the door, and come in, and they wouldn't even know he was coming. So
yeah, they didn't know why he was there.
That's
because
right.
he was creating mischief.
That's right. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so were you involved in 4-H? For those of you who may be listening and don't know, you're called a 4-H agent.
Yes, ma'am.
That's correct. Okay,
ma'am.
so it's like FBI but for agriculture.
That's right, for agriculture and kids.
And kids. So were you in 4-H when
Yes,
you were in
ma'am.
school?
Yes, ma'am. I was in 4-H from 4th to the 12th grade. Cleve Weisgerber, which was still working when I took this job, was my 4-H agent, and I used to show animals. I showed sheep. I showed cows.
Did you really?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that.
Well, back then, when you showed, you would get, like if you went to the state show in Gonzales or Baton Rouge, you'd get out of school for a week. And when you go to the state fair in Shreveport, you'd get out of school for a week.
There was motive.
You could sign me up.
Yeah.
I was done. I'm going.
He's like, if I'm getting out for a week, I'm going. Let me get some pigs.
I never dreamed of being a 4-H agent though.
Really?
Never.
Okay, so what did you want to be?
Cowboy.
You were though. You are though.
I wanted to be a cowboy my whole life.
Okay,
that's all I wanted to do.
He's being humble right now. So tell Greg that you are a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy.
He is.
I'm Cowboy Clark.
Sounds like maybe you want to be like the Lonesome Dove type of cowboy, not a 4-H cowboy. Huh?
I would love to do that. I think I was born too late.
Right.
I say that about my Uncle Robert all the time, which you would probably agree with. You know who I'm talking about. He was literally just born like 200 years too late. He would have thrived in what they depict as the cowboy days.
So you have read that book then?
Which one?
Lonesome Dove?
I've watched the movie.
I was going to say, no, he didn't read it.
I can't sit down and read.
No,
I can't either, but I listen to audiobooks a lot.
Yeah. Oh, no, my wife does that, and I don't see how she does it, but it puts me to sleep.
The Lonesome Dove one, if you
ever, I just watch the movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's still not telling you that you're a championship cowboy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so back in the day, what was that, 99?
In 1997 and then in 1999, I was fortunate enough to make it to the NFR in Las Vegas a couple of times. And that was my dream as a kid.
And that makes him a world champion.
Well, it just makes me an NFR qualifier, and I did end up second in the average one year at the finals, and I was proud of that. In 1995, I won the college national finals, and in the high school and the LRCA, I'd won championships in there, and just from a small age, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go on the road. Used to, when I rodeoed, we would leave Memorial Day and wouldn't come back till like September. We'd go up in the Northwest, live in trucks and trailers all summer.
Were you married during that time?
No, ma'am.
No, okay.
Well, my last few years I was, but
I didn't know if she had traveled with you and stuff.
No, ma'am. She did there towards the end of my career. She did, and I wish it was where we could afford for. If she could have went all the time, I probably would have never quit. But I had kids, and one of the biggest things is I didn't want my kids to grow up and me not be present. If we do basketball or softball or underwater basket weaving, whatever we do, I wanted to be there.
Underwater basket weaving?
And we was going to try to be the best at it. It didn't matter. And so I think Madeline was about 2 years old, and Sage was just born. So Madeline may have been a little older than that. And I was leaving to be gone for about a week. And Madeline was throwing a fit. No, Daddy, leave me. Leave me.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Made me feel bad. So we left, and we got to Natchitoches. I called home, and I was like, how's the girls? Oh, they're fine. And I could hear them screaming in the background. And I'm like, look, I'm getting my clothes out of the trailer. I'll be at the Chevron in Natchitoches. You come pick me up.
That was it.
And she wouldn't do it. She's like, no, you're going. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'll hitchhike home then, But I ended up going, and then once I got home from that, I never really left again. Yes, ma'am.
So did you do bulldog or steer wrestling?
Steer wrestling.
I vaguely remembered that,
yes,
because you're a few years older than me.
Yes, ma'am.
And I vaguely remember that. But you mostly did calf roping, right?
In the younger days, it was mainly calf roping and team roping.
Yes.
And then once I got into high school, I wanted to start steer wrestling a little bit and just kind of started doing all three events. And then for a few years at the professional level, I just roped calves. Then I started bulldogging and just fell in love with it. And got lucky enough to place a few rodeos and have enough money to continue going, and it worked out good.
Yeah.
And in made it in 97, 98, I come back, went to college, started to finish my college, went for 2 semesters, and then went back in 99. And then in 2000, in February 2000, I tore my knee up, had to have ACL and MCL surgery. And then in 2001, I think I missed the NFR by $14. They take the top 15, and I think I was $14 short.
That sucks.
So it does.
Man, I would rather it be 1,400.
Yes, anything but 14. Because there was rodeos that year that you could only go to so many that you could officially count, and I had unofficially counted some of them and won money at them because I didn't. And if I would have just counted them, I'd have made them.
Dang.
But there's a chance you take.
That's a chance. That's rodeo life.
Rodeo's a chance.
Yeah, rodeo's always it's always a chance. So back in those days, correct me if I'm wrong, you used to rope with my cousin Mike.
All the time.
That's what I thought. Because I
Growing up
remember
in-
y'all being at Uncle Elton's house.
That's right. We was there all the time.
Yeah. So there's this, what do y'all call it? Is it the dummy?
Yeah.
You kick the back legs of the dummy
And it swings.
And it swings. And I swear to you, if they didn't sling ropes out there for, I don't know, hundreds of hours a month. I don't know. I mean, it was a lot.
We did a lot.
Yeah.
And then when I was little, I say little, I was in school, but I was probably fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Mom and Daddy would send me off with Mike, and we'd go to ropings and things like that.
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening that doesn't know, we did lose my cousin Mike way too early in life. But he was all about, he loved rodeo.
Yes.
And my Uncle Robert was the same way. Jason, his my other cousin, he was the same way as well. And I just remember watching all of them, when I was growing up, Chad included. And then Chad went on to actually be in the NFR, which was, it's really cool. It was the same thing with Win, because Win Ratliff is from here. And when you get to root for somebody from your hometown, it's really cool. It's, I think in your case particularly, it kind of helps you make those kids understand that it's possible.
It is possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
If you dream it and believe it and work at it,
Yeah.
you can do it. You know, I guess one of the reasons I wanted to graduate college, a lot of people told me, "Oh, you would never graduate," and so that drove me to graduate. "Oh, you won't never make the NFR. It's hard to make," and that kind of stuff drove me to get better and practice every day.
So, did you go to LSU?
No, ma'am.
No, you
I
didn't.
went to Northwestern.
You went to Northwestern.
Yes,
Was
ma'am.
it in agriculture?
I went, yes, ma'am, business ag.
Business ag.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. And they had a rodeo team. Rodeoed with them for 4 years. I really don't know what this is, but it was a big deal. They said I got the nth degree for the year I won the college finals. I was at Northwestern and got the nth degree. Got to watch the football game from the president's box and sit up there with the president during the game.
I told you he was cool.
And go down to the midfield and do all that, and that's something cool that you would never get to do if it wasn't for rodeo.
Right.
And then through my rodeo career, I got to meet a lot of people from around the world. And I got to see a lot of the world that I wouldn't have never seen. And still got friends today that I'm stay in touch with that I made through rodeo.
So, out of all the places that you traveled for rodeo, what would you say was like your favorite place at rodeo, or the one that sticks out the most?
Probably Cheyenne.
George Strait wrote a song about that. It must be
right.
really good.
It's really good. We went on vacation. Well, we went a Christmas vacation to Jackson Hole, Wyoming a few years back, and my wife wanted to drive. I said, "Well, do you realize what the weather's like?" "Oh, we can make it." So we did. And we ended up going by Cheyenne, and she got a good picture of me and my two girls looking at the arena, and it just brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
It's a neat rodeo. The score is different than a lot of other places you go, and they have big concerts every night of artists there singing, and a lot of times you get to meet them because you get to go some of the places they go.
Right.
So that's been pretty neat.
So, okay. So, who's the most famous person you've ever met?
I guess George Strait.
Living the dream, man.
Living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. Was he nice?
He was very nice.
I figure
very
he
down
was.
to earth.
Real down to earth.
He was trying to hide. He had on baseball cap and sunglasses and things like that. I rodeoed with Herbert Terrio some, and Herbert was friends with Roy Cooper, and Roy Cooper was good friends with George, and so I got to meet him a couple times through that.
You got to meet George Strait a couple of times.
But he wouldn't remember who I was, just little old Chad from Leesville.
So I've got to know. So obviously rodeo started, as is derivative of a real thing, right? You're moving cows, you developing the skills to do that, roping calves, all that, to move a herd of cows, right?
Yes, sir.
/ other cowboy things.
Mm-hmm.
So and I don't know much about rodeo, but but I assume that's how it started. And then now rodeo's gotten so big that you could compete in rodeo and have never moved a herd of cows in your life. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of overlap. Have you put these skills to use, like to move a herd of cows, and what's your
help people move cows or go work cows or things like that? Yes, sir.
So, but then are there rodeo people who may have never?
Some.
Okay.
Some that maybe has not been that aspect.
And then there may be some, I would assume, that are like the real hardcore cowboys who probably are very good at these skills but never rodeo.
That's right.
So there's all four kind of Venn
That's right.
diagrams.
It's kind of in and out, whether you choose to go or not.
And is there mutual respect across all those circles, or do you get some cowboys who look down on the rodeo only people? Or?
In the Western industry, pretty much everybody gets along, and that's what's so nice about it.
Except for the barrel racers, man. The barrel racers get a bad rap.
They do this sometimes. You got to get that dirt just right for them. But that's okay.
Well, I mean, sorry if I'm offending anyone, but when I think barrel racing, I think women.
Yeah. I mean, it's a female dominated sport.
Okay.
Yes. It is a female dominated sport. But I think a lot of times you do have to have that dirt's got to be right.
Yeah. It is dangerous, your horse falling.
Yeah.
And them horses are over $100,000.
Yeah.
The ones you see
I think that's where people get kind of the misconceptions at, because it's like they think it's just a regular run of the mill quarter horse that you get for $1,500 from, some guy named, Harvey in Florine. It's not. It's
at this level, none of this is cheap.
No. And me and my wife talk about it now. I know what it costs to go. I say I know. It was expensive to go when I went. And now with diesel being $4, $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
When I used to rodeo, it was $3 or $2 in California. And I thought that was high. And now
it was like $8,
no telling what it is. Used
California.
to at Galen Fina, I had a 100-gallon tank in the back of my truck, and then my fuel tank on my truck, and I could fill them up for $125, $150.
So what's the biggest purse you ever won?
At a rodeo? Well, at Denver one year, I won $14,500.
But that sounds like a lot, but that does not touch the investment.
Right, that you have.
Yeah.
And at the NFR, one year I think I won $45,000 just in them 10 days of the finals.
You were being all shy about it. You really were, Cowboy Chad.
I was just Chad. That's all it is.
Sounds
Rodeo
like
was good to me. It's an expensive sport.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the way it is now with social media. There's lots of podcasts for cowboys. The Cowboy Channel. It helps these people, like the people you see with all the patches and stuff on their shirt now. They was people back then that had them, but not near the number they are now.
Right.
But with the way the Cowboy Channel is and social media, all these companies are getting a lot more advertisement.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's probably a similar money-making situation to like dirt track racing, where it's like, if you're at the very top, maybe you'll make some money. But now, like you said, with the social media, it's like you could have sponsorships and all this stuff where you could actually make a living of it, where previously maybe you couldn't.
That's right.
Well, and I think a lot of times people don't consider, like, you got to have a horse trailer. That's big money, and then you got to have a diesel to pull it. Big money, and back then it was big money. It's not as big money as it is now, but then you add the horse on top of it and all of these other things. Because even at minor levels, those barrel racing horses are probably $25,000. And I would say that's on the cheap scale.
Yeah, that's a cheap one. If they price it at 25, you ask them what's wrong with it.
Yeah, you're going to ask them what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it kind of, I think if you think about but it's the same thing, just like you said with dirt track racing. Yeah, there's $20,000-$30,000 in the car, $40,000 in the car. You ever going to win that back? No, but you're doing what you love, and I think that's something really cool that you got to go all over the United. Did you get to leave the United States with it?
I went to Canada a couple times.
Did you really?
Yes, ma'am.
What was it like up there?
It's good. The Calgary Stampede and some other little rodeos up there. They was neat.
Okay, so what's the coldest place you ever went to?
Probably Denver.
Denver?
We went to Denver one year, and it's in January. And I think that morning we went in the building for slack. It was 60 degrees. And when we come out, there was probably 3 foot of snow in the back of my truck.
Oh, no.
And, we normally stay in horse trailers and things like that. And we ended up, the interstate was shut down. I think we were snowed in at Denver for like 3 or 4 days before we could actually leave.
But I wasn't heavy into I rode horses, but I didn't compete. I wasn't heavy into that, but I got to watch everybody and I enjoyed that, And when I got older, I would tell people all the time that one of my favorite sounds in the world is 7.3 Ford engine.
Cranking up.
Yeah, clack, 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 clack. That's great. It's good because that's literally what I grew up hearing. You go to the road, everybody's got a 7.3. Everybody has got a Ford F-250 with 7.3.
That's right. Ready to go.
And then now you have them, and the diesels now just don't sound the
hear
same.
'em.
So it's not,
But they pull a lot better now.
They do.
But they should, because they cost 2-3 times the money they did back then. A truck that used to cost 45, 50,000 is now 125,000.
Well, in 2018, I bought a Lariat F-250, and now if I bought that same exact truck, just the way it's set, it would. I think it's $60,000 more than what I paid for it in 2018.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just wait till 2030. You're gonna see everybody show up in those F-150 Lightnings, plug their truck in.
I don't know how we're gonna. Okay. So this is a true story. I had the F-250, and it was nice. We had Hurricane Laura. I never had to wait for fuel because nobody was getting diesel. Basically,
that's right.
It was nobody was ever getting diesel. I got rid of it because the warranty was running out, and I knew how expensive it was to fix. And I did not have. We have a shop, but I don't have a diesel mechanic. I just didn't want those problems.
Right.
I was dead set on getting a Tesla. Dead set. And then Hurricane Laura hit. Something appealed to me about never buying windshield wiper. Not windshield wiper, but you never have to worry about coolant. You never have to worry. Like, really and truly, you only have to worry about brake pads and tires.
But is that one of the ones you plug in?
Yes.
Okay, so a 12-hour trip would take you 24 hours.
That's
but
correct.
You got to stop and plug in.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking rationally, Chad.
I know.
I wasn't thinking rationally. So I was dead set. That's what I was getting. And then Hurricane Laura hit, and it dawned on me that I would not have been able to go anywhere.
Where would you go?
Because I couldn't charge my car. So there would have been nothing I could do, But it just the thought of never buying fuel ever again
was nice.
It sounded so good that they almost got me.
When was that?
I was in 2021.
Okay, I was going to say the range on them those comes so far on all the electric vehicles. I mean,
Yeah.
you're seeing 400, 500, 600 mile ranges out of some now, and it's to the point in a lot of these where you can make a trip as long as you're going to drive, on a charge. And there's the electric stuff. It'll just continue to get.
I think if you get the one with the solar panel on the top,
does it charge as you go?
Yeah, it does. Well,
no,
because
those that just powers the AC because you need so much power. You need a much bigger solar array.
Because we have a solar panel on the camper, which I was not aware was there. But during the day, you don't have to use anything. It can run the whole camper.
Well, that's good.
Just off of that. I mean, you can turn the AC on. It doesn't run the batteries down. And I didn't even know it was there until we were on a trip one time. And I was like, is this thing using the solar? Like, there was stuff on, and I hadn't even turned the generator on yet.
Right.
And I was like, what is running all this stuff? And it was the solar
panels.
Yeah.
They're getting more efficient too. I mean, we're looking at our Generac propane generator up at my parents' house, and it's starting to go out and all that. And we're like, maybe need to look at getting some of those Tesla power walls,
Yeah.
and just hooking some solar panels up because they got the solar roofs now that you can't even tell there's panels. But
yeah, when you want to know about something high tech, Chad, you just call Greg.
Okay, good. You're talking way above me.
Hey, listen, he gets to go in, and I'm like, how does he know all this stuff?
Know.
Hey, people will text me because I have knowledge, but it's limited.
Right.
And I didn't realize how limited it was until I met
got better Greg.
And then it's like now when people call me, I'm like, oh, let me give you this guy's number.
Call him.
He can fix you up. It's not me. It ain't me. I can't do it. Whatever it is, he can probably fix it 10 times faster than me.
I understand.
Yeah. So now you know who to call if you have problems.
I call him.
Yeah, you just call Greg.
That's right.
So you finished college at Northwestern.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get into 4-H?
I was getting towards the end of my rodeo career where I was wanting to come home. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I come home and get I call a real job.
Yeah.
And so one day, Cleve Weisgerber called me, and I was home, and he was going to Opelousas to pick up some feed. And he's like, why don't you ride with me, get some feed? I said, okay, I had nothing to do. And he went to talking to me about he was needing a 4-H agent. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do that, but we talked, and he told me the ups and downs about it and the good things and the bad, and ended up applying for the job and getting it. And that was, February 1st to be 20 years that I've been with the Ag Center.
Shout out to Cleve.
Yes.
I'm not being biased, and I'm not saying this just because you're sitting here. you are hands down the best 4-H agent. That is the job for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
I don't know if you realize how blessed you have made this community by.
Well, the community's blessed me.
Well, and I don't disagree
with
there.
the kids and the support we have. The other parishes do not have the support that we have here in Vernon Parish, and that goes from the people, from the businesses, from the police jars, from the school board members. Everybody throughout the parish is very, very supportive of 4-H, so it makes my job easy.
Right.
You know, but I feel like sometimes people think, oh, God, here comes that 4-H man. He's finna ask me for money. You know, because we are constantly asking people for money, but it's going to the kids, you know, and
right.
everything we do is for the kids. And, you know, we go to 4-H camp at the end of July, and it's hot. And, you know, I think of that is my kids are spoiled. You know, they've been other places. And for some kids, this may be their Disney World.
Right.
So we try to make it as fun as we can for them, for everything we do, because you never know what somebody's home life like or what they're going through at home. You know, so we try to make every 4-H experience we can fun and exciting and wanting them to come back and do more.
Well, and I know you've never, like, rodeo week is Chad's week, okay? And admittedly, everybody that does anything with rodeo and fair week is exhausted by the time that it's over with. My very first news week for rodeo fair week, my very first news that first year, I had just made up my mind that everybody was so supportive of the baseball and the basketball and the football, which they should be,
right?
But that our 4-H kids had never got the highlight on them. So I went, I ran into Chad and I was like, hey, I'm going to be here like morning, noon, and night. And I was there.
It's a long week.
The whole time. And I remember one night I had actually because I got to work at like 5:30 in the morning. And I would do all my newscasts and then I would leave and I would go to the 4-H stuff at the rodeo. Well, then I was also working the rodeo, or the fair booth for the pilot club. So it was a full day. And I remember one day I slept like 3 or 4 hours. So the next day I brought a pallet, like a blanket and a pillow, and I slept in the back of my truck for an hour because I was so tired. I was so tired. But those kids, like,
they love it.
They love it. So they get to go, and I don't think I was fully aware of everything that they get to do. There's a bug identifying competition. There's a rope climbing competition. There's a match strike competition, which is really cool, by the way. The bow saws.
It's all up on Tuesday nights at the Woodsman's Guild.
Yes, they get to do hay stacking. I think we call it pine straw.
Yeah. Because when we first started that, I could get bales of pine straw, and now it's where I can't get the pine straw, so we try to get like half bales of regular horse hay. But they still have fun doing this competition.
Hey, those kids.
And they love it.
They love it. And they have a pet show. They have a horsemanship show. They do horsemanship. Mm-hmm. They show cows. They show pigs. They show sheep. I was there all week long. I was exhausted at the end of the fair. But every time I saw Chad, big smile, ear to ear, having fun. Just a big kid with the kids.
That's it. I'm just a kid.
Like he really, like, I can't say enough good things. And your team too. When your team is there, when they're all so good with the 4-H kids.
Thank you.
And they love y'all. And it's great to see all those kids. And I think a lot of people are under the misconception that you have to live on a farm to be in 4-H.
No. And
I want you to clear that up for us.
There's more than cows and cooking. A lot of people think 4-H is just cows and cooking. We have anything from, sewing to photography to robotics to STEM. In fact, Mr. Scott Lee and Justin Bender, which is our 4-H agent, have started this. And I'm not good enough, but it's one of them where you play video games. And, 4-H even has competitions for that.
Really?
Really? Yes.
I didn't know that.
I don't know the correct name for it.
The drones?
Well, no, we do have some drone programs.
Esports.
Like esports.
Yeah.
That's it. I couldn't think of that word. Because I wouldn't know how to run them controls anyway. But we have an esports. Yeah. I mean, if you can think about it, there's lots of different opportunities through 4-H. Mm-hmm. Like we just spent a week in Baton Rouge last week at 4-H University, which all the older people will remember as short course. Mm-hmm. and where kids go and do different demonstrations or make something different or give some type of demonstration, and then spend a week on LSU campus and kind of learning a little bit about what college life would be like.
And then 4-H also has a backpack project that they do. Y'all do that multiple times.
We do that Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and we partner with a school board on that. And we pack anywhere from 400 to 500 backpacks each time. And
they send them home with less fortunate kids for the holidays, for the breaks.
Our thinking behind that is, it's sad to know the number of kids that depend on school breakfast and school lunch. So we put like Roman noodles, things they can cook if parents are not home and don't take a chance of getting burned having to use the stove. Roman noodles,
macaroni
crackers,
and cheese,
macaroni and cheese,
peanut butter, granola bars, applesauce, the whole works. They do all of it.
I think we figured it up one time, and it cost us like $12 to $13 a bag to do. And whatever we don't get in donations, the 4-H buys. Me and my secretary, Ashley Mischief, which she's the one that keeps the 4-H office together and keeps us in line.
I was going to say, so she's got her hands full.
She's got her hands full.
Wrangle y'all.
But I'm pretty easy. I'm probably the easiest one.
I don't believe
she wouldn't agree with that.
No, she's not going to agree with that.
But me and her would go load up and take the 4-H trailer and go to Sam's, and we had them flat carts, and we'll have 5 or 6 of them level full of macaroni or just whatever's needed.
Yeah, Paisley last year, she goes to private school, but each week they got something. Hey, we want you to bring peanut butter this week. We want you to bring this week, and we loaded them up.
That's right.
And because it really does take a village, and you don't know, and I really didn't know until my son kind of got into high school how many kids, like you said, are dependent upon school lunch and breakfast.
We're probably not even hitting all the kids. And we don't know the kids that get it. We don't want to know. We work through the school counselors, and if the counselor at Hicks calls and says, I need 50 bags, we send 50 bags. And then, in talking to teachers and talking to counselors throughout the parish, there's a lot of kids that depend on that. Hey, are we going to get them bags before we go on Easter break?
They know.
So that makes you feel good that you feel like you're helping somebody.
Yeah.
Wait, so what are the 4 H's?
Head, heart, hands, and health.
Okay. And so like the like we were just talking about, we think about agriculture and animals, stuff like that when we think about 4-H, but it's a broader thing.
Broader.
Yeah. Okay.
Broader. Like I said, if you can think it, they pretty much do it in 4-H. And, it's all community driven for us.
A lot of people think it's like you gotta have a farm.
Yeah, and you don't.
And you don't have to have a farm. Like last year, do you remember there was a little girl, and I think she was at Pickering, and she had signed up for the haystacking contest, and her partner did not show up, and she had run around until she had exhausted herself to try to find a partner. Until finally Chad got on the microphone, and it was the sweetest thing. All she wanted to do, and she does not live in the country, was stack this hay.
That's right. That's right. I remember that.
And Chad was like, "Is there anybody that will be her partner?" And of course, somebody stepped up, which was the sweetest thing. They're like, "We're going to make an exception for blah blah blah," because her partner hadn't showed up. Because she was carrying around those gloves.
She was ready.
She was so excited to stack that hay. And it's like, and that's hard work, by the way.
It is.
See, if she grew up on a farm, she wouldn't want to be stacking.
That's right. She'd be like, "No, I'm good with this."
4-H is.
Yep, I do remember that little girl was so upset and disappointed, and I'm glad it worked out where somebody stepped up and helped.
He couldn't handle it, and it was the only person that happened to, and he just couldn't handle it. She had run around trying to find a partner from her school until finally he was like, "Hey, is there anybody that'll come help her?" And we found he found somebody, and it was the sweetest thing. She was stoked. She was so stoked. And I don't know if you know this, but her mama made a post, because I knew the little girl. Okay. And her mama made a post about that later on that night after it was all said and done.
Really? I didn't.
And it was very sweet.
Good.
And she was so thankful that you had done that and gotten her a partner, and that y'all had allowed her to participate in the haystacking. But what gets me is man, I'm gonna forget his name. Clark. Yeah, little Clark.
Oh, Clark Ratliff.
I know you've never seen this kid. This is the cutest kid you've ever seen in your life. The sweetest, cutest kid you've ever seen but you have 50 of them running around this tall. and they got chickens, and they got ducks, and they got sheep, and they have worked with these animals. They have loved on these animals. They are proud of these animals. I could never be a judge. If Clark is involved in any of that, yeah, he's going to be first every time. He's got these really big eyes, and they're so sweet. And he probably is not as sweet as I think he is.
He has always been around me.
I was fixing to say, I have never seen him.
Very polite.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Very polite. He'll talk to anybody, but he's very quiet. But there's 100 of those kids running around, just like that. Very respectful, very sweet, and he'll tell you he had Angora goat. He loved that goat. So
had all that hair on.
Yes, he told me all about it.
Yeah.
He knew, and he ain't that tall. How old is he?
6, 7. I don't know.
And he had to have been 5'6" when 6, 7.
Yeah, I didn't do that on purpose.
I know you see he's around kids all day. You knew what that was, but Clark told me all about that goat last year when he had it. It was because he was the only one that had one.
Yeah, he was the only one with the Angora goat at the fair.
Yeah, and he told me her name. God, I can't remember her name now, but he told me her name, and they really love those animals, and they
do, and that's what people don't understand when kids even his age have animals like that. Animal don't care if it's snowing or if it's raining. Them kids still have to go out there and take care of them. And unfortunately, some of the times here in Louisiana, when we get the 20-degree days, you still got to go bundle up and go feed your animals.
Yep.
And horses or animal, whatever you have.
It's probably why I didn't join 4-H, because as a kid, we had bought the farmland out there where my parents lived right across from here, when I was young. And so we were out there, developing that for the past, 20 years or whatever. And it's like, we get done with that. I'm like, do you want to go stack hay? I'm like, hell no. I don't want to build any more barbed wire fence.
See, we had cows. We had cows out at Pawpaw's house. And I remember, it was for a reason. I remember going out there when I could not have been 8 years old. I was so cold, but I had to go feed the cows. There was icicles hanging off of their noses. That's how cold it was. And I'm out there by myself because nobody takes pity on you at a farm. Nobody. They don't care if you're a girl. They don't care if you're little. Nobody. Like, you just got to go do what you got to do, and had to go feed the cows, put the hay out and all that stuff. And they're freezing and I'm freezing, but I think it does teach those kids.
It does. And like my kids, I have 2 girls, and growing up, when they was little, they both had horses and they wanted to ride.
He's being modest again.
And so Madeline is the one that actually kept riding up all the way through high school. Sage, I had her a horse that Madeline had, and she hadn't rode it in a while. And she told me, she's like, Daddy, I'm going to take a break from my rodeo career. That's okay. Probably a month rolled on. I said, what about that break? She said, I'm still thinking about it. I said, well, that horse is costing me money. I'm feeding it and doing all that. Well, let me think about it a little longer. So she did. After about another month, she's like, I don't think I'm going to rodeo. Well, then after Madeline kind of got in high school and wrote Breakaway and stuff like that, Sage was like, Daddy, you mean I could go to the rodeo and just wrote Breakaway? I was like, yeah. She said, that's what I want to do. I said, okay, but we're going to work at it. If we're going to bow, we're going to be good.
Yeah.
This was like July. Mm-hmm. And so the first day, I said, we're going to go to the barn and rope the dummy. Yes, sir. So we roped the dummy, and she actually swung the rope starting out better than Madeline did. And we roped. She rode her horse a little bit, and she went in. Second day, so come on, let's go rope the dummy. We got to go. If we're going to do this, we got to be good by the time school starts. Yes, sir. She come rope the dummy. Third day, I was like, Sage, she said, nope, I'm retired. Too hot for me. I'm getting in the pool. And then she never wanted to do it again.
Well, that's what I realized about high school or college or something. I was like, why do I like when it rains outside so much?
So it wasn't.
And then I was like, because when it would rain, we didn't have to do, couldn't go dig holes in the dirt. And,
I hated it. I'm being honest. Like, I hated it. And then now I think about it, and I was rich in life.
Yeah.
I really was. And I would do anything to rewind and go back for days that were much simpler. And even though it was hard, it was just, I don't know, there's something about it, and I hated it. There was nothing that I wanted more than to get away from there.
Well, we
Until
got a
you got
few more
away.
miles of barbed wire fence up there we need to build if you want to.
Man, I got, listen,
Be
my
glad to
grandpa gave me my PhD, and that is a post-hole digger's degree.
That's right. That's correct. And driving them T-posts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was hard work, but there was just something about it because you were never alone when you did that stuff. You know, your uncles were there, your grandpa was there, and of course those people aren't with me. All those people aren't with me anymore. Mike, even. And you get to thinking about it, and it's like, man, it wasn't as bad. I can promise you there was far more love and cool stuff going on that farm than anything I've done outside of that farm.
Chris Willis, Brenda Willis's son, when we were, I don't know, 13 or 14 or something, over 2 summers, we built, the 3.5 miles of barbed wire fence or whatever around our property and did all the H braces, drove all the T-posts by hand. And, it was probably cracking Dad up because we were damn near about to form a union saying we want a pneumatic T-post driver. And,
Yeah.
So one time I took that T-post driver up and, there was the lip of it was kind of curled from someone, hitting it. And so there was a kind of a ragged edge on it. And one of those I took up and took it a little too high and I brought it down on my forehead.
Weird.
And
That'll
put a
do
gash in my, had to go to my dad and get
some
have him
stitches.
staple my head.
No, that's gotta suck too. When your dad's the doctor, so you don't even get a break. It's like, let me stitch you up so you can get back to work.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did he even deaden it for you?
I don't even remember.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Well, my grandpa had 9 kids, so you probably had a big family. 9 grandkids. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You probably had a big family too, and we were free labor. Like it was. It's
We
like,
joke-
oh,
Get
y'all-
out here and do it.
We joke all the time because my dad used to, we would have our peas that we were growing in the garden would come and we had a pea sheller, like an
oh
but you had to
man,
feed
Chad,
them
he
through.
had it go. He
He
had
was
fancy
working it
life.
too. That's
Well,
right.
but we
we
had-
had to do it by hand.
Yeah, I had to do it by hand,
There
sitting
were,
on the
we had
porch.
too many, my daddy overgrows everything. So we had bushels and bushels, like 20 bushels of peas. It's like you couldn't do it by hand if you wanted to. So, but $20 an hour right there.
$20
no,
an
no,
hour?
I'm sorry, $20 total for
Oh.
like an
I was gonna say.
8-hour day.
I was like, dang.
I didn't go to work over there.
I'm saying.
no, not $20 an hour. No.
You know what's crazy is when I got older, I was probably 13 or 14. So my grandmother, she had a lot of siblings and she had sisters. And I was always fascinated because obviously they grew up during the Depression. So they went through some stuff that none of us in this room will ever know anything about. At some point when I was like 13 or 14, somebody bought a pea sheller. We have it on the porch, okay? Those 3 women could outshell that pea sheller
Really?
10-1. I'm telling you, they just, because they had been doing it
Yeah.
For
their
so long.
whole life, and it's not funny, but it's like one of the cool stories is that when I worked at the nursing home in the Alzheimer's ward, somebody brought in peas one time. And I was young. I was like, what are we doing with these peas? And they were like, oh, we're going to take them back to the Alzheimer's ward. Hey, they kicked in gear.
They were rolling.
They knew what they were doing. Like it was like you had opened up a memory for them and they're just sitting there shelling peas. And it was such a good enrichment for them to get their hands going, but it was, I'm thinking, man, I can't get these people to do, regular things because of the Alzheimer's. No, sir.
But that stuff kick in.
Them shelling peas, folding towels, stuff like that kind of stuff is just what they did. And I'm just telling you, my grandma could shell peas faster than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And I would just be wondering, how is she doing this so fast?
Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, to her, the pea sheller was useless. It was just because her and her 2 sisters sitting there could just dole it out and get it done.
I wish I could do that.
You can't shell peas?
Not that quick.
No?
See, and I missed a lot of that when I was rodeoing.
Oh, yeah,
And then when I
probably
quit and
so.
come home, we had a night at my mom and dad's, and I was married then, and I'm like, I don't do all this. I just go to the icebox, get them out of the thing. We don't blanch them and shell them and all that. Y'all do that. I just eat them.
Sir, I just eat these. What are y'all talking about?
Yeah, so
We had one of my old relatives on just a separate thing we did outside of the podcast for posterity's sake. We had her a couple of weeks ago come in and just talk about her life with my dad. And
Yeah.
stuff. And I think what they were saying that they used to do would let them dry out, have those peas in a bag, let the shells dry out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they would kind of beat that bag and get the shells separated from the peas. And then when they would pour the bag of peas onto the table, they would wait for a windy day, and then the shells would all blow away as the peas came out. It's like
the meanest
that's
thing
some
my
real
grandmother
country
ever did was send me to the. I had picked pretty much everything in my whole life, but I mean, you got to cut okra, and they don't just hand you a pocket knife till you got to be at least 5.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
she sent me out there to cut okra. Well, I never cut okra before. It's burning up hot. Them little fuzzies get in your skin,
yeah.
And
it hurts. Well, then she lets me go in and take a hot shower.
Even worse.
Even worse. Never do that. If anybody's ever listening, you go cut okra. Don't take a hot shower. So, but that's how those old people were though. They thought that stuff was funny. That's like
because most of them always had long sleeve shirts on.
Yeah.
Men or women.
That's how my grandpa was, and I always wondered, until I got older and learned. I was like, man, it's 112 degrees out here. Why is he wearing a long sleeve shirt? He's wearing a long sleeve shirt so the critters and anything else didn't get him.
And the sun.
I'd be cut up from, what is that? Blackberries, huckleberries, all that stuff we would pick. And Pawpaw wouldn't be cut up. And I'd be like, man, might be on something with that shirt.
Right. That's correct.
So did your grandpa, your dad, they wear the white tank tops underneath their button ups?
I remember my grandpa wore overalls some, and I don't remember the white shirt. I just remember like the Western type shirts.
So my grandpa was always in
the blue jean type, I guess you would say.
He was always in a button up, like Western button down, whatever you call it, Western type shirt. Now, if we was getting fancy, if we were going to church, it might be the pearl snaps.
Yeah, and you had to have your little cowboy hat, the little felt, gray looking hat.
Yes. I can.
That's the craziest thing to me when you see old timers with layers on in the summer.
Yeah, I've never seen him. I never saw him in my whole life, and he was, I think he was 86 when he died. I never saw him without an undershirt, the little ribbed muscle shirts.
Yeah, I don't know, wife beaters.
Never. I mean, he would have on either his jeans or his slacks and long socks because we always had cowboy boots on. And then, of course, the upper garments. So, I mean, it must be an older generation thing. Yeah. But I don't know how they survived without AC and all those layers.
No, I'm getting out there naked if I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not back then.
If I can.
Yeah. So does 4-H participate in the ordeal that happens at Porter Farm every year?
4-H does not, just because we're tied up with the fair.
Correct.
That's more just the ag. The cattlemen's here in Leesville sponsor that. It's not that we wouldn't.
Right, but it's the same week.
It's the same week, and we have so much going on. Now, a lot of our 4-H kids go because, thankfully, the school board allows them to go up there that day, and I think that's a great program. You get some hands-on things to see in action.
That was also my very first year in news. Somebody, I don't even remember, it may have been, I don't think it was Cheryl. I want to say that it was... I don't know. It was somebody in the Porter family told me about it. Like, hey, you should come out. You should ride out. Yeah. And I was like, it's during the fair? And they were like, well, it's that morning. And I was like, okay. So I go out, and they've got Brandon Vet Clinic set up over here in the barn. They've got the forestry. They've got drones. They've got the cattlemen out there cooking. I mean, just name it.
I think they feed them.
They feed them.
And then go to each one of them stations showing them different things. It's something to see.
What do they call that?
The Ag Day, I believe.
I think
it's
Ag
called.
Day. Yeah, I think
Day.
You're right. And you got kids out there learning how to do, because I think a lot of people think veterinary work is just dogs and cats, and it's around here
not.
It's not.
That's right.
The first time I worked for Dr. Brandon, a very short stint during my life, and I remember he told me, he was like, can you handle, how did he word that? Can you handle working for a grouchy old veteran or something like that? And I was like, yes, sir, and he laughed about it, but he wasn't lying. He was just very dry, but I did love him. Well, the first time I had to get a stool sample from a horse, I was looking for a fecal loop because that's what you use.
You should.
And so he hands me this really long glove. And it's nothing I hadn't done at my own house before. I'd never gotten a stool sample, but delivering, calves and stuff. And I was just like, I said, hey, where's your fecal loop? And he just kind of giggled and hands me the glove. experience.
Here you go.
Here you go.
Hand him back your resignation
That
letter.
was just like, oh, for real, I got to do that, So it was a humbling experience.
I can imagine.
But I mean, working for a veterinarian,
You see all kind of stuff.
so the way you fix a stallion, that ain't for the faint of heart. They put us in this padded like barn stall. And I was not prepared for that because obviously I always send them to the vet. I wasn't on the other end of that. So like they put you in this padded stall and it's you and the vet and maybe one other tech in there. And they're like, don't open the door until we tell you to. And it's like, what? And you gotta get this horse and not get yourself killed in this little bitty stall and, get them woozy so you can lay them down because it's almost impossible to knock them out.
Right.
That's how big they are. And and you want to know what the grossest thing that ever happened there was an abscess. That
It wasn't busted.
oh my God. I don't think I'll ever forget that smell.
You won't.
I walked in the barn and I immediately start gagging. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this job. I'm not good over this.
Yeah, that's a terrible smell there.
It's the worst. It's the worst smell. And it was just like, and I have a feeling that Dr. Brandon got some sort of enjoyment out of watching.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Well, thank God he must have gone easy on me because when I was about 9 or 10, he was nice enough to let me come up and intern for like a summer or something when I was homeschooling, and yeah, we didn't get that deep in the weeds, thank God.
Hey, the worst thing that ever happened up there, I've probably told this story before. We had somebody come in. It's very known for their kind of really tough exterior. Just somebody you would never think would be attached to anything or have any emotions about anything. And they walk in this dog and they're holding him up in the back. He had lesions on his spine, and so his back legs didn't work anymore. And that dog had to be 100 years old. I mean, he was clearly old, but we went into the barn, and we were going to have to put him to sleep. So I'm holding the dog because we got to put him to sleep. And I remember this guy loses it, and I'm brand new. It's probably my fifth, sixth day on the job, and I'm holding him for Dr. Brandon, and he tells me, when we get done, the guy says his goodbyes or whatever, and he was like, okay, I need you to get him in a cadaver bag. We're going to back the truck up over here, and cadaver bag's a really thick black garbage bag, just for anybody listening that may not know. And you box him up, and we're going to load him up. As soon as those two men walked out of that room, I lost my mind. I bawled and I squalled because he was old.
Yeah.
He put up no fight. There was no, he didn't even flinch when we stuck the needle in him. But it was the fact that this man, that a lot of people are like, you would, if you knew who I was talking about, you'd be like, he was crying, and it's like, yeah.
But dogs are like kids.
They are.
It's just like horses. You get attached to them, and when something happens, it's just like losing a family member.
So do you remember Mr. Jeter?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jeter had a horse named Doc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you remember Doc?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, but I came into possession of Doc before Mr. Jeter passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I would go and visit Mr. Jeter, and I would visit Doc, and he was beautiful. But I always worried that Mr. Jeter was going to hurt himself, feeding him, or because Mr. Jeter had gotten old. And anyway, I finally talked him into letting me buy this horse. And I said, hey, I got all this land, I can put him out here. I promise I'll take care of him. You can come visit him anytime you want, which he did, by the way. He did come and visit him.
I'm sure.
And anyway, that was the most stubborn horse I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
My whole entire life. But I took him out, and I bonded. And I was going through a tough time in my life anyway. And it was just like this had kind of brought back a part of me that I had long forgotten. And man, the same year, I'm talking months after Mr. Jeter passed away, Doc went down on me. And I called Dr. Brandon, young Dr. Brandon Jesse, out. And he was honest with me. I'd been trying to nurse him for a while.
Right.
He said, we can spend a bunch of money. We can get him back up. But he's going to be just like this in about 8 months. I think he had developed Cushing's. We didn't blood test him, but we were pretty sure he had gotten Cushing's. And anyway, I had to walk him about a quarter mile down to that bottom of that 100 acres to put him down. And he knew it. And his whole head was hanging low.
It's tough.
Oh man, that was a
tough.
long walk. It
Yes.
was a long walk. And we got him down, got the first shot down. And he laid down, and I started coming unglued. I was bawling. And Galen starts, he was like, "You got to go. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. You've got to go." I couldn't compose myself. It was terrible.
Oh, it is.
It was terrible. And I remember and that day, I had like 5 rescue horses out there at the time when this happened. And I called them people. I said, "You get everything off this hill. I don't want any more of them here. I can't do
You
this.
get too close to them.
Find them a home. I don't want to do this anymore." We got rid of the cows. I was like, I can never do this again.
Well, I'm
I had
glad you weren't reactionary about it.
Oh, I definitely was. I definitely was. Well, because you forget. Like when you're younger, that those things happen. And you remember them vaguely.
Yeah.
And then when you get to be an adult, it's like, man, because you couldn't ride Doc. Doc was the worst riding horse I'd ever had in my life. He had a terrible gait. So I just loved him. And he knew, like he would give me, I don't know, you probably had horses like that. They're goofy. People don't think horses, they think they don't have a personality. I would go out there and he would know I'd have his treats and he'd give me a kiss right on my mouth for that treat.
They're smarter than you think.
They are. And goofy. I mean, just, and surprisingly very protective. We had this is when they were doing roundup and stuff on Fort Polk. And
Right.
we were intercepting some of them because I had a pen. I had what was needed. And most of the time I didn't keep them very long. I was a temporary home until they got to go somewhere else. We put this one in the what I called the QT pen because it had the tall stuff on it, And for whatever reason, he did not like that horse being around me at all. And he would try to kill her pretty much, but she was insane. Yeah. She was crazy, and I think he knew that she would hurt me. He was the only domestic horse out there. Yeah. So it was, and of course he was by himself, but it's almost like he knew.
He knew what was going on.
That she was going to hurt me. And it kind of crazy to think about it. I must have cried 3 days over that horse.
Oh, I can imagine. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, do you remember, were you around? So Uncle Elton had a horse named Joe. Mm-hmm. Do you remember Joe?
I remember Joe.
Okay. Do you remember when he ran through the fence?
I do not.
So maybe you weren't around when that happened. I think it was Joe. I'm almost positive it was Joe. So he ran through the fence and the barbed wire fence like laid him open. Mm-hmm. And that was it was a very traumatic experience. Right. I remember, and I can't remember if they ended up putting him down or if they ended up being able to fix him. I really don't remember.
I can't remember, but I do remember that horse. I don't remember what they had to do with him.
Do you remember, were you at the wagon wheel the night Jason's horse had a heart attack in the stall?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy too. I just remember that. I vaguely remember it, but I remember that it happened.
I seen one time tied to a fence. We just finished roping on it, tied it up, and it just reared up, fell over backwards, and was dead.
That's kind of what happened.
Was just from a heart attack.
Yeah,
I had never saw that.
That's kind of what happened. They backed him up into the stall, and he just reared up, and that was it. It was over with.
Madeline had an experience like that with a barrel horse.
Did she really?
She was on it, and she was just going to exhibition and trot, supposedly. And when she come in the gate, he just took off running straight to the back, and he just hit the fence head on and fell over. Luckily, it didn't hurt her, scared her. And Jesse and them looked at him and said he had a heart attack.
So he died right there.
Yeah, they said he was really dead before he hit the fence. It was just adrenaline. So I guess luckily the fence was there, or he would have probably just went to flipping.
Oh, my gosh.
Whenever his adrenaline run out, and then she would have probably really got hurt. So,
wow, yeah. I didn't know that she had experienced
that. She
was that her horse?
High. It was a horse we was trying from some people.
Oh, okay.
To buy for a barrel horse, and they did an autopsy because we didn't know if it broke its neck when it hit and they said it was pretty much dead before it ever hit the fence.
Wow.
So it's.
So I'm glad you didn't buy that horse, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you never know.
So do either one of the girls still participate?
Madeline rides every once in a while.
Do you still have horses?
I got 3.
You have 3 horses?
I got 3, and my 2 future son-in-laws have got into roping. So they ride quite a bit. Madeline rides a little bit.
You've been showing them the ropes?
Been trying.
You've been trying?
I've been trying.
Are they getting the hang of it?
They are getting the hang of it, surprisingly.
So believe it or not, Greg, if you didn't grow up around this, so what happens is like the old generation's always slinging ropes. That's what I call it anyway. And then like from the time little kids, little boys can basically walk, they see their dads and their uncles doing that stuff, and they're trying to rope you. They're trying anything
that moves.
You're just walking around and you got a lasso over your foot. You never know when it's coming. And it's like some rite of passage. I can't imagine trying to learn it when you get older. I never picked it up, by the way.
Yeah.
I tried. Mike tried to teach me multiple times. It just wasn't my forte.
It's probably tougher as you get older, but these two boys are doing good. I'm proud of them. And
well, they got a good teacher.
Well, I don't know about that, but we try, and it gives me somebody to go out there with. Madeline still rides there once in a while. I had bought a horse for Madeline, a breakaway horse, and we didn't know it was pregnant. And I went out to feed one morning and had a colt, a baby colt. So I give that colt to Sage, hoping that would inspire her to ride a little bit. But she don't. She just wants, if they win money on riding her horse, they owe her money. And I was like, what about feeding it?
Businesswoman.
Yeah,
it is, because I still feed it and do all that. And the vet bills. She don't understand none of that.
He's like, hold on a minute. I'm getting a raw deal here.
Because I had a chance to sell it. I was like, look, that's not my horse. That's my daughter's. I talked to her. She's like, absolutely not. We're not selling that horse. So I was like, okay.
Well, that's kind of rude, though. I mean, if she's listening, Sage, if you're listening, you're going to have to start helping with the feed and the vet bills.
Yes, please.
This is Chad's plea.
Yeah,
we're going to get a petition going online for
Sage. To feed her horse.
Okay, so I have another question. Okay. What is the prettiest place?
Montana, Wyoming,
I figured.
Up in there is pretty.
Yeah.
And my wife would love to move up there, but I probably would. I wouldn't mind it this time of year, but wintertime, no, I'm done.
I don't think I could handle the winter.
What's funny is like up that way this time of year at night, you need some type of jacket, and
right now. So it's cool all the time?
Well, it's cooler than it is here. I remember one time I don't remember if it starts in June or July, but Salinas, California, we flew in there, and I had to pay $100 for a sweatshirt because I was about to freeze to death.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't fathom that.
And I ain't going to say
hot.
It's cold, right, but it's cool enough you would want some kind of jacket.
Well, and part of that is I think it's just because I'm so used to it being so humid and muggy down here. And I've only been up north once, and I swore after that trip I would never travel above the Mason-Dixon line again, ever. Yeah. They did not have sweet tea. Nobody knew us.
The food is a little different now.
Woo! Listen.
Food is a little different.
We walked in. Dad was with me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, there's a Mexican joint across the road." And I was like, "We're in Chicago, Illinois. I don't think that we should eat Mexican food in Chicago, Illinois. Something tells me we probably shouldn't. Yeah. I feel like we're too far north for anybody to know what kind of cuisine." So we go in, and as soon as we tried to order queso, they didn't know what queso was. And I was like, we need to leave. We need to go. This is terrible. This is going to be bad. And it was terrible. Now, pizza, phenomenal. Lobster, phenomenal. Any kind of crab you could get up there, great. Just don't order Hispanic food up there.
Well, that's like when we'd leave to go for the summer and be up that way. The food ain't seasoned nothing like it is here. And so it is different. But
and they pick on us because we season, so, you got Tony's, my brother was stationed in California. They didn't have Tony's Sasheries in California. I would have to ship him Tony's Sasheries because they didn't have it over there. They didn't have Slap Your Mama. They didn't have any of that stuff over there. And I was just like, what do y'all season y'all's foods with? I guess salt and pepper. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they would have that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I guess. It's kind of weird because you think down here, a lot of people don't understand the lack of seasoning. Obviously, when I got a seafood bowl up there, I'm expecting a seafood bowl, and it ain't the same. It's not. I mean, it's good, but it's not the same as what you get down here.
Correct.
It's not. It's not seasoned.
Right.
So exactly. That's the only way to put it. So, okay. So, Did you ever get to like rope with anybody famous or rodeo with anybody? Like but he's not telling you that. He's very modest about it.
Just like some of the team ropers that are older now, get to rope the dummy or piddle with them some. That people I grew up idolizing, I got to rodeo with a little bit and got to meet. And that was a big deal for me.
Did you ever try bull riding?
Never did. I used to ride some steers when I was a kid.
You didn't want a bull ride?
I didn't want a bull ride.
Nor a bronc ride?
No, ma'am.
Probably smart.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to do nothing.
It was pretty dangerous. Pretty dangerous.
You got to meet a lot of your heroes that you grew up idolizing and spend time with them and talk to them and realize they're just normal people, that they put their pants on the same way you do, one leg at a time.
Now, one person I would love to meet, modern day cowboy, which is J.B. Mooney. I love J.B. Mooney. I don't know if you know who J.B. Mooney is.
I don't.
But he's a $7 million bull rider.
That's right. You hear that all the time.
But he has got, really and truly, J.B. would be fine. I want to meet his kid.
Yep.
Jagger is his name.
That's right.
And he's got what is the bull's name? Tutorooski?
I think so,
Yeah, he's got a bull named Tutorooski. Honestly, that kid is so cute, but he's teaching him how to be a bull rider. But he got his neck broke. What was that bull's name?
I don't remember the bull, but
he bought him.
Yeah, he bought him and retired. Now he owns bulls and I think helps people.
His kid got his neck broke, or
no? He did.
Oh, okay.
J.B. Mooney retired because of that.
And they told him if he rode again and fell on, he could be paralyzed.
Yeah, so he retired, and he bought the bull that retired him. They both retired together. And it's funny. Have you ever seen videos of them together? Mm-hmm. They just like hang out and chill, and he pets on him. And
he's not making Jagger ride him, is he?
No, but Jagger does bull ride.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Wait, Jagger, we're going to wait till you're 18 and you can make this decision of your own free will.
That's right.
So earlier at the very beginning of the episode, I called you Cowboy Clark. Tell us how that name came around. This is Chad's alter ego, okay?
We was in New York City.
New York City?
If you can believe it, I went to New York City.
I don't believe it.
I did. My wife had been wanting to go to New York for a while, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And one morning, 6 o'clock, we woke up, and she's like, I booked us a ticket to go to New York. We're leaving December this and coming home December this. Okay.
She said what she said.
I said, good enough. So we went, and the room, I don't know if you ever stayed in a motel. Supposedly Marilyn Monroe and somebody she was with that stayed at this motel back in the day. So we stayed there. The room was just very, very small. Mm-hmm. And so I think we flew in that night. The next morning we was getting up to go tour. In our family, when we go on vacation, we don't sleep all day. We get up that morning, and if we're at an amusement park, we open it and we close it.
Yeah.
If you want to sleep, we'll stay at home and be free. So we was getting up, and my girls had got dressed, and I was sitting there dressed, and they got in the mirror and was taking their selfies. Getting all cocky wobbled and blah blah.
Yeah, they got to do the Snapchats, man.
Yeah. So I got up and started taking them, and they're like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I said, "If y'all gonna take selfies, I am too." So I took a couple around town and put them on Facebook. And I think it was vignettes like, you're acting like one of her favorite movies is that Christmas deal with Clark Griswold.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she said, you're acting like Clark. She said, and then she started calling me Cowboy Clark. So then I started embarrassing my kids.
Makes sense.
Every time we would go somewhere, I'd be like, hold up, I got to get a selfie, and I would stop and they would just run from me, and they both had on pink jackets. And I'd be like, hey, and New York people just going everywhere. And I'd be like, them two girls in the pinks, my daughters, and they're running from me. So I'd stop in the middle of the road and take a selfie.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it would embarrass them. So it just kind of grew from there.
And Cowboy Clark was born. So Cowboy Clark blew the grass clippings into the pool the other day.
That's probably not the best decision I've ever made.
Did you get in trouble?
Maybe a little.
So he posts on Facebook. And he takes a picture, and it looks like Minette and the girls are at the pool.
They are.
And and he's mowing. And he's like, I think I'm going to blow some grass clippings in there.
I was really joking.
And, somebody in the comments dared you.
Well, and I really, and my wife or my kid, and the bad part, Sage had just put that oil on. And so the grass really, really stuck to her. But I had just bought a new lawnmower. And I thought I was far enough away so when I turned, it wouldn't blow that far. But I didn't. The lawnmower I had, I probably had for 20 years, and I didn't realize this new one. About the second time I mowed, that it would blow so far, and it really did blow in there.
Oh.
But I got myself in trouble because I had posted that on Facebook before.
Oh.
So she really thought it was
that you
on
did
purpose.
it on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I promise on my life, it was an accident. I would not have done it on purpose. After I done that, I was like, they will never believe
it
me.
happens.
So it happened, and they got it cleaned up, though.
Yeah. Man, you didn't have to help?
No, ma'am, I was mowing.
He said I was mowing.
I didn't have time.
He didn't have time. So which one of the girls, I think it was Madeline, was she Miss Louisiana Rodeo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Her junior year, I think, in high school.
So did she do the Lions Club Rodeo Queen?
She did. She was Lions Club Rodeo Queen 1 year.
And then she was the Miss. So Miss Louisiana Rodeo. There's a Miss Rodeo USA, correct?
Yeah, but she not. She was just the Louisiana High School Rodeo Queen.
Yeah, that's right.
She never did. And then they have the Miss Rodeo Louisiana, which
Yes.
she never run for. And then Miss Rodeo Louisiana would go compete for Miss Rodeo America.
Yeah.
So she just went to the Louisiana High School.
The high school one.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, she's a good girl. And you got a grandbaby now.
Got a grandbaby, Angela Blair. And
Yeah.
there's nothing better.
Yeah. Well, I saw her the other day at Walmart, and she is the cutest thing. I told her, no wonder y'all was spoiling her so
We
much.
spoil her. And I can't wait till she's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Then she could go with me, and me and her can tear up some stuff.
I was telling my niece that the other day because her daughter is just turned 1. And, it's kind of like the experience where it's like, oh, my God, I have the baby all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm just telling you, when she starts, because she's a really good dad, the baby does. And he's so ready, for her to be,
Right.
walking and talking and doing all that. I said, I'm telling you, when she gets to where she can walk and toddle around and he didn't have to hold her all the time. I said, I'm telling you, you're never going to see her again.
Yeah.
Because it was the same thing.
Well, I'm scared, and I was even my own 2 girls. I was scared to be there by myself with them. Mm-hmm. You go to crying, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Right.
And if you, depending on what's in that diaper, it may take me a little while to change it because I would have to gag for a little bit, have a little bit. So I don't like. But the other day they left her with me by myself for about an hour, and I was like, Mignette was gone. Everybody, Sage,
You
everybody
had the
was
baby
up.
by yourself?
I did. Me and her went to the barn. We rode side by side for a long time. I set her in the middle of the dirt in the barn, and she played and ate dirt, and we just had a good old
That
time.
was good for her.
It was good for her.
She was getting some wholesome time with
That's
Paul.
right.
This was
So-
Paul.
But she was good. Paul.
Just
Paul's
Paul.
what I'm, well,
Well,
as of what Madeline wants her to call me, but she ain't started talking like that yet, so there ain't no telling what she gonna call me.
there's no telling because whatever comes out of their mouth
It'd
is
be
what
good.
you're going to answer to.
That's right.
That's pretty much how it
She can
happens.
say, hey,
Yeah,
and I'll be there.
yeah. That's usually how it goes. As you think you're going to have all these names, and then they just call you something.
And that sticks.
Yeah. So my daughter was probably 2, I think. Yeah, 2. When my brother had come home from the Navy, he'd come home for a visit. He had been gone for a while. And there was a whole ton of people in the house. And we used to always pick on my dad's wife, and we would be like, oh, yeah, that's Granny. She didn't like that.
Yeah.
That's Granny. That's
Some
Granny.
granny stuff.
No,
Oh,
no,
she wouldn't
Granny
let it.
did not stick. So we're all at the house, and we're walking around. And she was, now admittedly, this was my dad's wife, very quirky. So she just kind of went along with anything, but she hated Granny. And Paisley comes up to me, and she's like, where's Uncle Mom? And I said, who? And she said, Uncle Mom. So I take her around because there's 20 people at the house, and I take her around. Finally, we figure out that Delian is Uncle Mom. And it stuck. And we even now when she talks about her, she's passed. And even now when she talks about her, people
It's
are like,
Uncle Mom.
are you saying Uncle Mom? And I'm like, yeah, we're saying Uncle Mom.
That's like my great nephew. He called me Chad, and his mom and daddy get on to him. You need to call him Uncle Chad or blah, blah. So I got to picking at him one day, and I said, when you speak to me, you call me Mr. Chad. So, and I call him Mr. Hagan. His name's Hagan Allen. And so now I'm Mr. Chad, and he's Mr. Hagan.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I don't know I don't know if that's going to stick, but that's for now anyway. He's 4.
That's how it was with Mike. So when I was little, and I don't know how y'all, obviously you were raised the same way. Mike graduated the year I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not old enough to just call him Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So I either had to call him Mr. or Uncle. And Uncle just stuck because he did not like for me. Don't call me Mr. Mike, and it was the same way. And now when I'll be like, oh yeah, my Uncle Mike, and they're like, Mike Herring's your uncle, and I'm like, well
kind of.
not really, but that's what I grew up calling him, and just it was same thing though. It was a respect thing.
Yeah,
they're like, you can't just call him that.
It's like Miss Lisa at the office, our office manager, Lisa Thompson,
You had to call her
Miss Lisa, yeah. So still to me this day, it's Miss Lisa.
Miss Lisa, yeah.
That's right. We're both adults, so I could probably say, hey,
you could just say Lisa, but
no.
yeah.
Miss Lisa.
But it's the same thing. Like when I see my teachers now, if they're like, I'm just going to, hey Miss Heyman, hey Miss Lowen, whoever it is, that's what I'm going to call them because I'm not going to call them anything else.
It's funny, just seeing the male versus female instincts. Like last week we were down in New Orleans. My sister had her second child, so my second little niece, and Mary Ann's like wanting to hold her and all that, and she's like, don't you want to hold her? I'm like,
I'm afraid
I'll
to
hold her once, take pictures and stuff, but in my mind it's like, this is a liability, holding a little infant, I'm like, it's the way I think most men think. Like I will hold my own child, of course, with no issue, but
I'm scared I'm gonna break them.
Yeah, the
That's
risk versus reward for a little infant that's not yours is like.
My daddy's rule is until they can hold up their own head, he won't hold them. Because he's like, listen, their neck is going to break and I can't do this. He's like, it's just too much. I'm stressed out and I can't do this. Now, I don't know if he was like that with us or not. Based off the amount of photos that we have of being that small with him, I'm going to say he probably has been that way his whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But even, we were able to get one picture with Kate when she was little like that. And then he was pretty much just like.
The women were forming a line, like, who's going to hold her next.
No.
Like,
yep. I understand that.
No, he wants as far away as he can get from it.
Yep.
So in the last 20 years, what would you say 4-H agriculture-wise has changed?
Something like the esports stuff and things like that. I mean, we didn't have all that back 20 years ago. Probably be the biggest and with Facebook and Twitter and
Instagram,
whatever all them kids do. I don't know. I can barely do Facebook, and my wife has to check all that before I can post anything because I might post it wrong. But I think that's changed a lot as far as being able to reach the kids. We can put stuff on. You can send a kid an email and they won't respond. You send them something on Instagram or Facebook or something, and they're gonna either like it or reply back to you.
Correct.
And like the esports and the stuff with the drones and things like that, I feel like it's grown over in STEM with the STEM stuff that they do in 4-H. That maybe we didn't have quite as good a stuff back then as we do now.
I was curious if that push toward the tech side was because agriculture is becoming more more controlled by software. I mean, you see now commercial farms are largely like
in your combines and things like that.
Yeah, you need as many software engineers and
hey, I see them kids. I don't know if y'all ever watched like YouTube. Galen loves YouTube, so he watches a lot of YouTube. There are kids that are homeschooled that live like in Iowa and stuff that have farm stuff. They're in there on the combine, just like you said, doing their homework, and the combine's running itself. Or the moms are in there and they got like a little hammock and the baby's in the hammock in the combine. And I'm just like, well, y'all are wild, man.
Yeah.
I grew up, I thought I grew up, I did not grow up that country.
Right.
And it's like, wow, there's a whole nother, breed of people out there that are doing stuff, and they farm from daylight to dark while doing their education, which is really cool.
Well, and it's going to be we're already trending towards a different sort of world where, we're probably going to skip over the whole like, oh, we need software engineers in agriculture, maybe for the past 10 years, but now with AI stuff, I mean, it's like a lot of the stuff I do. I mean, last night with the election, I sent Jessica and people in the chamber and stuff, website that I had my AI,
I was so cool.
Assistant, spin up to take voter data and just display it, in a nicer format than I thought the state's website would. But you're going to see that to all sorts of things. So you're not going to need a programmer necessarily, but you're going to need someone to put the infrastructure in place so that they can then tell the AIs or whatever you got running. I mean,
it's going to be really cool to see the farmers, in the future and how
It is. Well, you take like last week, my laptop had messed up. So I called our tech guy with the Ag Center, and he's like, "Look, it may be a couple of days before I can get there. I got to go set up these combines."
It's like just go on your AI of choice, and
and so I was like, "Do what?" He's like, "Yeah, I got to go set up all these combines, and they got to have them running by this day." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." You know, I didn't really think about it till then. But you program how much you want to put out or what you want to do, and it goes and does it.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I think it's insane. But I guess on a commercial level, when you got that much farm to farm, it
helps.
would be helpful.
Yes.
Very
much.
So do you think kids are more interested in 4-H now or less interested? Less?
Yeah. There's too much other things.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not down at it. I mean, if that's what's going to make you better, if that's what you want to do. But used to, you could only play basketball, softball, baseball, with summer league. It played for a month or so, but now you can play year round.
Yeah.
And so a lot of kids, well, I can't go do this in 4-H because I'm going to be at a ball tournament or a AU tournament for basketball or something. And I'm not saying anything terrible, but it has hurt our numbers, as far as kids going and doing and being on, being gone for a week to 4-H university and things like that.
So when they go to the week long, what do they learn?
Well, like up there, you're learning college life. You're learning a little bit to navigate on your own. I'm not saying that we throw them out. There's kids they having a dance and an assembly every night. Usually it's in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, but this year they was doing some renovations, so we went to the field house. And there's probably 1,500 kids from all over the state of Louisiana that's in there because all 64 parishes come together. And so you make friends. And like some of the kids that we talk to, now that they've graduated, they still have people that they're still good friends with that may live in Monroe or Shreveport or Lake Charles or wherever that they met at 4-HU or something like that at a 4-H event.
Yeah, and that's got to be kind of sad to see that happen with everyone doing the sports leagues year round because, how many of those people are going to go be NBA players?
Right. And they might.
They maybe, but it's going to be a very small percentage of them, are going to go off and do that professionally. And meanwhile, they're missing out on, sounds like, more well-rounded life skills that they could be.
It is. And you take Cleve. Cleve. I can't believe the number didn't allow. This was a few years ago. Livestock numbers are down from what they used to be. So where's your grandkids? Well,
they're playing ball.
We're playing ball. I said, exactly. Oh, yeah. I said, everybody's just like you. Everybody that go talk to, they're playing ball, and you don't have time.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. That's the way it is, and we just have to work around it.
So, okay. So if there's somebody out there listening that doesn't have a farm, okay, they live right in the smack in the city limits. What would you tell them about possibly? Because I think a lot of people have the misconception about 4-H that you got to have a farm and agriculture or animals.
You do not. Like we talked from the STEM to the photography to the sewing, there's all different forms of 4-H. It just depends. The shooting sports that we talked about a little bit while ago, that's become big.
I was so glad that we were able to pull that off for Mayfest.
Yes.
I thought that was the neatest thing. Like everybody was over the moon about that, and I thought it went well.
And I think that they've already been in talks about doing some things different, some more things better maybe next year.
Yeah.
It just depends on what your interests are. But, if let the 4-H know, we have a Facebook page that Justin runs that keeps everybody informed, on all of our upcoming events and what we've had or going to have and, what the kids done. And if there's something that you see that you would like to see in 4-H that maybe we don't think about, let us know. We not saying we can do it, but we will look into it and try.
Well, I got a thing in the mail not too long ago for Paisley because she's in 4-H. And there was some sort of trip. I didn't send her. Obviously, I could have. They were going to China, I think.
Yes, we are. I think it's China. We sent some to Ireland last year.
Yeah.
And we're sending some, I think it's I don't know. There's two places. Justin's going on one of them.
It's two places.
There's two different places that you could go.
But one of them, I mean, 4-H affords a lot of opportunities for kids.
Now, the parent pays for
Correct.
some of that. I mean, it's not free, but it is where you could go do that.
That's correct. Well, I would guarantee you that if you were in some sort of robotics program or anything like that, and you're wanting to go on that trip or whatever next year or this year, I promise you, if you put together a little thing that says, hey, this is who I am, this is where I go to school, and you go around to a couple of businesses, you can probably find you some sponsors for that trip. That
goes back to what we talked about earlier with the support we have in the parish.
Yeah. I think you just have to go to, you're not going to get it from Walmart. You ain't going to get it from Amazon.
You got to get out and get it.
Yeah. But I also think that is another thing that 4-H, teaches kids: fundraising skills, communication skills, et cetera, et cetera. I loved 4-H. I had a lot of fun in 4-H, and I didn't have any show animals whatsoever.
Right.
I did demonstration days. I think I did cooking. I did when we did culinary
cooking contest.
Yeah, I did that. And then of course we did the 4-H stuff during rodeo week. But as far as the rest of it, I didn't have show animals.
Y'all got me to the point where I kind of want to join 4-H now.
You should want to join 4-H.
We can always use good volunteers.
Yeah. And that's another thing, so if y'all want to, we'll put up a thing here. I know Greg's got the capability. If y'all want to go and log on and sign up to be a volunteer, they're always looking for volunteers, to get involved in 4-H. And that's although Chad's a fantastic cowboy and a good dad and a good paw and all that other stuff, he's literally, him and Miss Kim are like the 4-H agents. And I know Justin's coming up now too, but when you think about 4-H here, you think about Cleve, and Miss Kim and Chad. And
Kim was here for 30 years.
Did she retire?
Yes, she retired last October.
Did she?
And then Justin come to work in January, and
I think Justin's going to be great too.
I graduated high school in 1992. She come to work here in Vernon in 1993.
Yeah, I know she had been here
right after I graduated.
So Miss Kim was my 4-H person, and I can't remember who the other person was with her, but there was somebody else with her. But Miss Kim is always the one.
It would have been Cleve back then.
It probably was. It probably that's probably exactly who it was.
I think after Cleve, I remember Todd Sasser.
I think that's who I thought it was.
Which he went. It probably was, and he did this for a while, and he got the ag teaching position at Pitkin, and he teaches ag at Pitkin now.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, you don't have to have a farm. You don't have to have cows or pigs or any livestock whatsoever. The 4-H's, it is a clover, and I know it. I know everybody thinks you got to be a cowboy, but you actually don't.
We take all types.
Yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities, and it's one of my favorite programs. I think that one and the Lions Club, the Leos, those are pretty close to my heart. Both of which, believe it or not, T-Berry was involved in.
Yes, both of them.
So he was a big pioneer for both of those.
Correct.
So, and when you kind of think about it, and probably none of us would be here if it wasn't for T-Berry, I guess. We wouldn't even be having this podcast talking about it.
That's right. You're correct.
If anybody didn't know, we lost T-Berry a couple of weeks ago, local legend. And I always hated that I had the idea to have this podcast far after I was able to get danced. Like he wouldn't have been able to tell me his story.
You could have got him on here before. He could have told you some stuff.
Yes. Like, and I always get tickled because my sister is thin, and I've always been the big sister. It just is what it is. And I remember seeing him one time, and I was with my sister, and we both stopped and talked, and I said, "Hey, Mr. T-Berry," and he was like, "Is that your sister?" I said, "Yes, sir." And what'd you do? Kick her away from the table?
Yeah, that sounds just like him. That's it.
But you can't get offended by it. He was old and cute, What
99 years.
99 years.
And, not many people get to have their grandpa, grandparent, dad, friend, whatever, for that long.
Yeah, that was, it was, well, and it's almost like it is sad, but it's almost hard to be sad.
Yeah.
When you know that somebody lived a legacy for 99 years.
And I remember talking to him the last Leesville High School alumni thing they had. He was the only one in his class that was still there.
Oh, that's got to be a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
I remember when my grandpa, one of the last ones he went to, I think there was 4 of them left, and he was talking about it, and it broke my heart.
Right.
There was like 4 or 5 of them left, and he was talking about it, and I was like, oh, that really has to like hit you, that's a lot. That's a lot. And if you're the only one left, but 99 is a long time.
Yes.
And he lived 1,000 lifetimes in that 99.
That's right. And
I always get, like, not that his accident is funny in any way, just the fact of how tough he was. So he had an accident on his bulldozer. Is that correct?
It was.
It ran over his arm. And he got in you correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how he recounted it to me. He got in his truck, which was a standard.
Probably.
And drove across the farm after he got run over by a bulldozer to tell David.
Take him to the hospital.
To take him to the hospital. Yeah. And I'm thinking, if that was me, their life flight me out of there.
Yeah, I'd be laying there hooping and hollering. Somebody come get me.
Like, what was he made out of?
I don't know.
Like, that is something. That really is something. And I mean, that's just him in a nutshell. That's just how tough he was.
And he was older then.
Yeah, he was.
I don't remember how long ago it happened, but
he was not young enough for that to have been. He had to have been in his 80s.
Probably.
When that happened. And he just, I can't believe that there's anybody but those people were made out of something we weren't.
That's right.
You walk into your granny's house and it's 200 degrees and she's standing over the stove.
Ain't bothering her a bit.
Ain't a drop of sweat nowhere. Yep. None. Did you have a granny like that?
Yeah.
Like cooking in her movie? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
And that thing on their head they always wore. When they was outside, they put so their hair wouldn't get messed up. I don't know what it was.
Oh, the little bonnets.
Yeah, bonnet. That's it.
Well, mine would so my grandma would put a scarf over her head.
Uh-huh.
She would tie a scarf around. And now she did like the AC, but when you went up the other generation, my great grandparents,
right,
that was where, it could be August and my great granny would be having her butt up to the heater in her house. And I'm like, my God, it is so hot in here.
I had partially zoned out because I was thinking about, do you guys have in 4-H competitions for growing different plant varieties and stuff like that?
We don't have competitions, but we do have, throughout the Ag Center, we have specialists that can tell you about that. And what they do is free. Like if you're having a problem with your garden, whether you need to have a soil test or something, maybe you're having trouble with some kind of bugs in it and you don't know what the bugs are. We have people that now it's a little easier with cell phones. You can take pictures and they can tell a lot from them, but they can tell you what to spray. We have the Get It Growing little thing, and it tells you what varieties are best for this part of the state.
Well, so the idea that I was just thinking over in my head was, when we buy seeds and stuff for our gardens, like, I see my parents ordering, Goliath tomato seeds or whatever from XYZ online site. And, my dad made the mistake of telling me, hey, I'm going out of town this weekend. This was a couple months ago. And he had his tomato plants in his greenhouse. He's like, can you, watch the temp in the greenhouse? And so I was like, when you come back, it's going to be automated. Like you're never going to have to step foot in your greenhouse again. So I put a bunch of sensors and duct fans and had it,
Greg's like, I'm never babysitting your tomatoes again.
Right.
I was telling him, look, it's getting way too hot in there. Peak of the day, you need more duct fans and we can automate it and make it, the perfect temperature. He's like, they really don't have to be perfect all the time, But anyway, I started looking at like, how these big commercial greenhouses and stuff run their automations and everything because they, monitoring soil health, water content, all these. I mean, they're in a very controlled environment and they're producing plants that produce a lot of these seeds. And like, God, Carolina Reapers are a great example. A lot of people want to grow these hot peppers and stuff at home. Well, it's like $10 for a pack of 10 Carolina Reaper seeds. And I'm watching this guy on YouTube, shake out a bucket of Carolina Reapers, getting like $20,000 worth of seeds out of one batch.
We need to buy some seeds.
Well, I was just thinking that like, the Girl Scouts have their cookies. It's a shame that like 4-H isn't like a seed provider.
Okay, so they do have saplings.
Well, you talking about the tree sales?
Is that y'all?
That's the USDA.
Oh, I was
Or
thinking
the
that was y'all.
NRCS, Miss Rose. And we just assist them with our teams to help load them and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But wouldn't it be cool if 4-H were the go-to for your local seeds, and it's like you would buy seeds from the 4-H because
would
they
be
make the
cool.
best. Well, and then you could have the 4-H kids or whatever competing, and when you compete, then the best one in the state could go compete against someone at the national level, and then if they get the best formula for growing a tomato or whatever for putting out tomato seeds, then that kid would. Then they would implement that at a national level, and hey, we got the best tomato seeds you can get. You know what I mean?
We
Be a good
do have
fundraising thing.
One program with seeds where like we just got some pumpkin seeds, and I think we got 50 little bags of them or whatever that we give out to the kids, and to try to get them interested in growing.
Right.
And you'd be surprised the ones that have seen your picture. And we have something like that every month, and that we get something different, and we'll send to the kids that want it. They can come by the office and pick it up to try to get some interest in that.
Right.
But you'd be surprised the ones, oh, look at my pumpkin, how my pumpkins do.
Oh, yeah. They get proud of that stuff.
That's right,
Yeah.
they do. Once it starts coming up and they see something,
So-
they get very proud.
Do you get attached to kids to them?
We do. I do.
When they graduate, like you get a little
It's tough,
sad.
yes.
Yeah, I figured.
And then in this day, it makes me feel old because some of the kids, when I first started, now I'm getting their kids.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm old. I'm too old
Man,
for
I
this.
I know your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you do get attached to them. They're just like yours.
Yeah.
And that's the way we look at them, and we want the best for them just like we do our own kids.
Do you have fun at 4-H camp still?
I have fun? Lots of fun.
Every year.
Our camp is the funnest one.
I know.
Camp 9.
I know that he has so much fun. Like if you could see him around those kids, and he really is just a big kid with them. And I know they love that because I hear them say that. They really do love Chad, and he has fun with them. And I know that it's and you're not wrong about the 4-H camp. There's a lot of kids that look forward to that every year because that's their Disney World.
It is.
And that's their vacation, and they get to go and they get to spend that week away. And we don't know what their situation is, but they look so forward to that camp every year.
Every year.
And it's a big deal. And I've seen some of them cry like this is my last year at camp.
Oh, they do. They bawl and squall. And then I have some of my teen leaders that come with me to help. When it's their senior year, they bawl and squall because they won't. If they come back, it'd be in a few years as an adult.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, once they get into adulthood and start their careers, they don't come back and help some. We have some that do, and that's understandable because they're starting their own family or got a job where they can't, and things like that.
That I know, but it's got to still be in the back of their mind, though.
Hopefully,
that I spent so many good summers at 4-H camp. Because I'm telling you, the kids talk about that.
And they
talk
like
about
it.
that, and they have fun, and it's the same thing with Fair Week. It is literally hundreds of wild kids just running around having the time of their lives.
Everything shuts down in Leesville pretty much.
It's my favorite time of year.
For that.
It's you can always tell when Chad's gearing up because the rodeo parade comes and he's at the rodeo parade, and and they've already been doing stuff. And a big shout out to the volunteers that help y'all during that week.
Very much. We couldn't do it without them.
There is a big, huge lot of volunteers that help do all that every year. Michael Beeler's always there.
Yep.
Scotty Benjamin's always there. I know that.
We do.
Brother Nold is there.
He's always there. We have some people from the forestry that come help us.
Yes. Just volunteers upon volunteer. Year after year, they're, helping those kids. And Michael Beeler's got the most... I don't know how to even word that. His kids can climb a rope faster than anybody I've ever seen.
Get up it.
I don't know why. All three of them, both the boys and the girls, and he told me, he was like, "It is the most useless skill. I don't know why."
He taught them how to do that, I guess.
He says it's not. He says Amanda is the one.
Yeah.
But they
was always good at it.
Like 3 seconds, they're to the top of the rope and it's dinging the bell. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very hard.
And then the girl came up last year and I was there watching, and I was just like, is she going to be as fast as her brothers? And she was.
Avery was good.
And I was just like, my God, what are these kids eating?
Remember when we used to have to do that in PE? I don't know if y'all had to do that. But the gym teacher would slide that little 1.5 millimeter thick pad underneath and get you climb the 40-foot rope up the.
No, we had did y'all have the physical fitness test?
So
Yeah, we had that. Did you have that?
I'm trying to remember.
So you would have to do like a V-sit, and you would have to like reach out, and you would have to run a mile. I know there was that in there. There was a whole bunch of stuff, how high up you could reach, how many pull-ups you could do.
Oh yeah. We did do that.
Yeah, they were. I don't know if they were checking to see if we were qualified for the military or not. I don't know.
Maybe so.
They're like, oh, pick the elite ones out of these.
Yeah.
Who's got the
And get
best
them.
mile? We're putting them in special forces.
That's it.
Remember Bailey Dowden when I tried out for track, Bailey Dowden and I were good friends and everything. This was up at Anacoco, and we were trying out for the 400, and I had never run track, but I'd spent all, my life just running, doing farm stuff, and I was fast, So we go around the parking lot, and I didn't really know it, but this was like, to see if I was going to take Bailey's spot in the 400, and so we get about halfway around the parking lot, and I'm, by Bailey, and he's like, man, you can go ahead and just take off. I'm going to do another event. So I just take off and, like, all right,
He's
you're
like,
running the 400.
I'm going to slow play this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you do any other sports in high school or just rodeo?
I just rodeo. I did up till junior high, and then like baseball and basketball, and it took up too much time on rodeo.
Yeah.
But when I got out of school every day, I wanted to practice.
You ever barrel raced?
As a kid,
You did? Not as an adult?
not as an adult.
Okay.
Now at my house, just running, acting crazy, I have, but not in any event anymore.
Not in any
I'm
event.
afraid I'd fall off,
Really?
especially on a good barrel horse.
Man, I only got to do that a couple of times on a good horse. And that's like, I tried steer wrestling once, which no girl should do.
Right.
For obvious reasons. But just nothing to do me. I just wanted to, I was like, I can do that. And I probably could have if I had probably been a little bigger and
Right.
had muscles that men have and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a women's sport. But I did gain a whole new respect for steer wrestlers after that. Cause it was like, I can do this. And
It's tough sometimes.
it was not something I could do.
Unless your name's Olga or Bertha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like
got to
that.
be pretty tough.
Tough to do that.
Stout
Yeah,
one.
but barrel racing is, and it makes you scared because you're
Moving
just
so fast. and
it's so
turning.
fast and you're tilted so far
It's
over.
like motorcycle racing.
And we talked a while ago about the dirt with the barrel racers and
It's
joke,
slippery.
But it is. I mean, they're moving that fast, and their horse slips. A lot of things could get hurt.
Yeah.
Whether it's your horse or yourself or whatever. And
Did you see that big news article? I hate even giving credit to this person. I'm not going to say their name. Did you see that about that girl that did all that stuff to those horses? Did you see anything about that? Okay, so what event was this? This was the
it was some kind of world barrel racing thing in Las Vegas.
huge event.
Huge event.
And this girl, 17-year-old girl, goes and apparently has been stalking multiple highly trained barrel racers. Like, I'm going to call them champions in their
Yeah.
own right. I don't
Yeah.
know what they're,
I
Oh, she's a buckle bunny.
she
supposedly
stabbed
she
their
run
horses.
barrels.
She what?
She stabbed their horses.
What?
Yes. So she goes in.
What a psycho.
You correct me if I'm wrong because I followed the story pretty close. She goes in and she had been trying to reach these people like the whole week before, like reaching out to them on social media. Oh, I'm going to be there. Was also a barrel racer, had her own horses, and allegedly wanted to be a veterinarian. And goes in and stalks these not mediocre ones, the
good horses.
the good ones, and goes into their stalls after their racers had left their stalls for the night and stabs these horses. What was there, 4 or 6?
I don't remember the number.
Like to get rid of competition or like,
Nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows.
or just she's psycho?
Obviously psycho.
Yeah, obviously psycho.
And and I say that, and I'm not worried about coming after for a defamation lawsuit because I don't have anything.
I hope she's in federal prison.
She is going to be tried as an adult.
Yeah.
As she should be. I don't know why anybody would do that, but I couldn't. Luckily, no horses died.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
they
wow.
all going to be all right from what I
good.
read.
Yeah, I mean, no horses died, but she, like, the one was telling me, the one that owns Ditto, I can't remember her name, but she had gone by the stall like 4 or 5 times, oh, when are you leaving, blah, blah, blah. And the girl she said, I was uncomfortable with her. I was uncomfortable with the interaction, the whole nine. And not 20 minutes, she just got back to her hotel room when they're calling her, telling her that her horse had an accident. And this girl just so happened to be in the area when the accident happened. It was insane. Like stabbed defenseless horses. And I
crazy.
To me, it's like, no, you definitely need to sit behind some bars for a while.
Yeah.
Like that's some insane behavior. But luckily all the horses lived. I just thought, because I don't really follow all that as much as I used to. But that one was like, wow.
That was crazy.
I was like, okay.
I guess at least she showed her colors young instead of getting older and doing something even crazier. Because that's psychotic behavior. I mean,
what kind of world do we live in which you can't leave defenseless animals in their stalls like you should be able to and go to sleep? Nobody should have to be a 24-hour security guard for defenseless animals. Of any sort, or non-defenseless animals at that. Nobody, anything that's pinned up and can't defend itself, or it's just terrible. I was just like, man, what is, if you had beef or you wanted it, like that's
come to me, don't mess with my horse.
Yeah, don't mess with my horse. It'd be the same thing as messing with my dog or my cat or anything else. Like, why would you do that? Specifically considering she knows how much those horses are. She's racing barrels. She knows how much they are. It was just the wildest thing to me. I can't fathom why anybody, which now there's going to have to be more regulation and.
Oh, I'm sure it will be after all this is said and done.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have to be, you're going to have passes to go back there and probably, and she was a competitor. So how do you keep her out of there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
It's
bad.
I just couldn't believe it. And I'm just like, man, somebody put her in a pen and let somebody stab her a couple of times. It's not very nice. That's probably not a popular concept.
Medieval punishment.
Yeah,
eye for an eye.
Imagine, that'll learn her. I'm not saying to take her out or execute her, but my goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah.
To just have to, because most of those horses are going to be friendly. Yeah. Period. They're not going to be confrontational or any of that.
She's not right in the head.
No.
90% of them is going to be your friend.
Yeah, they're just going to love on you. 90% of them, they're huge dogs is all they are.
That's it.
I mean, they're just huge dogs.
Cost a little bit more to take care of.
Their vet bills are way more expensive.
Yes.
It's one of those sociopaths we keep hearing about and have no empathy for anything. Yeah.
I just can't imagine. It really did blow me away because I'd never heard. I mean, it was basically the Tanya Harding of rodeo is what it was. And I can't imagine the mindset. And I don't know. I'm going to have to throw that out there. I don't know if Tanya Harding did that to Nancy Kerrigan or not. I just know that it happened. So, it just very weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. No words.
None whatsoever.
No words.
Like, I can't even fathom why you would try to do anything to anybody's horse, whether it be, just something small. Just anything, or to a competitor. If you can't compete, just go home. What are you doing here?
Don't mess with somebody else's stuff. Try to make you better.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I had a hard time with that one. I was just like, man, I really hope she gets like 40 years.
Surely she didn't think she was going to, if she was doing it like to get rid of competition or something, surely she didn't think she was going to get away with that.
The only one that I know about, because there's only one that's been very vocal on social media. And that was the lady that owned Ditto, and I cannot remember her name. But she said that the girl claimed that she caught him running covered in blood, and that something had happened, and he got those from like breaking out of his barn, his stall. And I was just like,
the horse?
Yeah. She caught him, like said that he had broke out of his stall, and he was covered in blood, and she caught him. And that it ended up not being the case. So now you got to have cameras everywhere.
And people will.
Yeah.
Will.
And they're going to have security for one crazy person. It's kind of nuts. Did you ever have any competitors that were crazy?
Not that
I just
knew
don't
of.
remember
Not
that
that I
like
knew
that.
of, but that would do anything like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. Just it seems like the further along we get, the worse it gets. But back in the day, obviously you got robbed. Did you have a rival?
Did I have what?
A rival?
Not really. In the steer wrestling, we all wanted to win, but we was all there to help. Because, there would be times that the boy that was winning the rodeo might come haze for me, and I would beat him, or he would beat me.
Right.
So in the steer wrestling, I guess you could have rivalries, but all of us got along. We was just one big
And that's the way I
group
remember it.
back there.
I would imagine if you did something like that as a male, you get some cowboy justice, which probably would not be very kind.
Well, it probably wouldn't be very good in the still wrestling world.
No, it wouldn't be at all. I mean, and that's the thing is, it's like she's in a sense lucky that it was barrel racers, because if you had done that, just like you said, you probably wouldn't have made it out of the barn.
Yeah.
So,
everybody looked after everybody.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's a big difference between now and then.
Yeah.
Just things are different. People are different and more brazen and do weird things. And not saying it never happened. Just that was really shocking to me.
That was crazy.
I can't imagine, because most of those people that are in those events know. I mean, they would lay down their life for your horse. Much less their horse. I just can't imagine what anybody would be thinking. Just kind of weird.
Yes, very much.
So you're enjoying Paul life.
Paul life's been good. It is. Right now, she likes horses.
Ooh.
When you take her to the barn,
You teach her how to rope.
We'll see how that goes. And she loves swimming, so maybe we can just have horses and swimming.
Did you ever teach your girls how to rope?
Madeline, I did.
So she knows how to rope.
She does. Sage can swing a rope and rope the dummy, but she never really did it off a horse.
I'm gonna have to go out to Chad's house one day so you can just teach. Mike really did try when I was younger. I just never could.
Madeline made it to the national high school finals in Wyoming her junior year in high school.
Really?
In the breakaway, yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Now, Madeline didn't want to put in the practice that I thought she needed to.
Well,
because I was old school, and my dad was old school, and she was new school, I guess you would say.
Well, that's kind of how. Okay, so again, that's how I remember it. If I'm just telling you, the people, the ropers in my family, if they had a free second, they sling in a rope. They don't care what it is. The dummy, the dog.
Every time I see him at the rodeo, I'm like, I'm going to go home and get a rope and try it out.
It's not how you think it is.
No, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it takes forever.
I'm just telling you, for most every one of them that I can remember from this tall, and when they could start slinging a rope, any free moment they had, they were roping something, and it never stopped.
And Madeline roped. She roped good. And like I said, Sage just never picked it up and really wanted to do it, so I didn't push it. She played basketball and softball.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. If we're not going to do it 100%, let's don't do it.
That's kind of how I feel too.
And I'm not going, just because I did it don't mean you have to.
Yeah.
And it would aggravate me sometimes, and Mignette would remind me that she's not me, because she didn't want it as bad as I did as a kid, and I had to step back and. She's a kid, and we're going to do it. But you need to try to be good at it if we're going to do it.
Well, that's kind of how Paisley was. She had, like, a couple of times mentioned she wanted to go to law school, and that was my dream. And when she said that, I just honed in on it, and I was just like, this is what we're going to do, blah blah blah. And I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And the fact of the matter is, she does not have the grades to
do it, to
do a law career. She just does not have the grades to go to law school. She's good, but it's not that level, and I'm just like, and she hates school, she doesn't want to be at school. And I'm just like, okay, well, she goes, I had to talk myself through it, because if you go to law school, that's 8 to 10 year commitment, and it's like, she's not going to want to do this. She's not going to want, and I didn't want to push her any further. And then finally she was like, I don't think I want to go to law school. And I was just like, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not a good idea. But because it was what I wanted to do.
She wanted to do it.
I wanted her to do it so badly. Because I was like, because it was, part of me would be like, oh, okay, well, I can just live through her. She'll be a lawyer, and and it'll be like something I did never achieve. And but I had to remind myself that she wasn't me, and that probably wasn't the best avenue for her. And I think she's going to go into the medical field. She's more medically. She's really good with medical terminology and stuff. She's really good, with that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping maybe that pays off in the end.
Oh, and as of right now, that's what Sage is in.
Is she really?
She wants to be a nurse, or there's something she wants to be. I don't know, but something in the medical field.
Is she graduated yet from high school?
Yeah, Sage started college last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
She went one semester at UL and hated it. Half the year in the dorm that we paid $15,000 for, she didn't have hot water, and
my God,
and she just didn't like. UL was too big for her, so she transferred to Northwestern, and she loves it up there.
Yeah, and she
so
going
she's
for nursing?
For some kind of nursing.
Yeah,
nursing, and I don't know what to do, what type, whether it's going to be, but just something in the nursing field.
You know, I was thinking when we had Ralph on here, because his story was very much like, I got the sense that there was no real plan for, you know, and things just kind of happened, and he just kind of went with the flow, and it kind of worked out well for him, you know. And I was thinking about my dad, you know, I mean, he didn't go to school thinking he was going to be a doctor. Or anything.
Really?
No, I think he was in college. I don't know if he was about to graduate or if it was junior year or something of college, but maybe one of his friends or something was taking the MCAT, or one of his professors or something said, you probably do pretty well in the MCAT. And so he just signed up for it and said, all right, I'll try it, and did pretty well on it. And then he went to medical school and became a doctor.
Isn't that crazy?
But, yeah. And it's almost like, sometimes I feel like with our kids, I don't have kids yet, but you know, this generation is like, maybe we're a little too planned with them. You know, maybe you got to give them space to kind of
let them. And that's like Sage, when she started college, she was a panic because she didn't know what she wanted to do. I'm like, that's okay. You know, you got a couple of years to get some stuff under your belt and figure it out. You don't have to know right now.
I think it's wildly bizarre that these people that we have asked to ask permission for everything that they need to do and tell us where you're going, what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, ask for permission to go to the bathroom. And then we're just asking them, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? They don't know.
I had no idea.
It's a balance I think you got to strike, because you don't want you know, them to be not connected to reality, where it's like, okay, they're on this track to be a lawyer, but in reality they don't have the great, you know. So you don't want them to waste time and end up with 4 or 5 years of wasted time, but you also don't want to dictate, you know, here's what you're going to do, and not have the flexibility to.
Right. And it's okay to change your mind. I think that's a big thing. So if you get up there and you don't like this, you don't like what you've picked, that's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
But I think stuff like 4-H, you know, I wish that I had done more extracurriculars like that, where you get this wide breadth of different things. Especially, it's good to hear that y'all are kind of branching out into different adjacent stuff, you know, because if I'd done more of that, I may have like more quickly found out, you know, where my heart truly
oh my God.
lied.
Imagine if there was a robotics program when you were in school.
Well, we had robotics programs and stuff like that at like Louisiana school, but I wasn't that deep into it. And maybe if it would have been, I don't know.
Something to catch your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think now they get so much hands-on, you know, way more hands-on than we did. You know, they get more access to that kind of stuff, because that kind of stuff was not when you and I were in school.
Right. No.
That was stuff we could only dream. I was at NASA.
Yeah, we always thought about it. I wasn't smart enough to do it.
It's like, yeah, you definitely got to be an astronaut to do that stuff, you know. And the reality is you don't, you know. And these kids are capable of so much,
More than they think.
Way more than they think. The robotics program that they have at the schools now, that's so cool. I think it's the coolest thing. Those kids build those little robots, and they have the STEM center at Leesville High School. They got 3D printers. They got all kind of stuff going on over there. And I'm just like, my God, you know, like these kids are, you got like 7 and 8 year old kids building robots. And I'm like, man, and then I wonder if they had handed my country behind something like that.
What would it have been like?
What I would have done with it.
You never know.
Like, I was having problems building cell diagrams out of styrofoam.
Yep. That's exactly right. It's crazy.
It is. It really is crazy. Well, is there anything else that you would like anybody to know? Like if there's anything that 4-H needs that we can put out there on the airwaves or anything, because it's such a great program here in our community.
It is. I don't know of nothing right off that we need. I'm sure tomorrow when I go back to work, I'll think of something. But, you know, we're just here to help the people, and we appreciate all the support we have. You know, in Vernon Parish, it makes our jobs a lot easier because of the support we have. And, you know, it makes it fun to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
And it's like people say, if you enjoy what you do, and it's not like a real job, you know, and that's kind of with the 4-H program, you know, and people think we're off during the summer just like the schools, but that's more of our busier time. I know we got the district and the state horse show coming up, and then camp and things like that. But we stay busy throughout.
You were just at camp this week.
Well, we went to the 4-HU this past week, and then We got our district horse show next week, and then I think right after 4th of July, we do a state horse show for a week, and it's actually in DeRidder at the Beauregard Parish Covered Arena.
Is it really? That's great.
So we appreciate everybody.
Yeah, and just remember that during the holidays, that's going to be Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter. Anytime the kids go on a break for a week, they take non-perishable items. I know peanut butter is always on the list, and macaroni and cheese, the little cups of instant macaroni and cheese. So you can stock up on those at any time.
Anytime we'll take them.
They'll take them.
Any questions, you can call our office. I know when it gets closer to time, we'll have all that posted on our Facebook page.
And the Facebook page is Vernon Parish 4-H.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's, you can go there, follow there. Anything you need to know is on their website. You can sign your kid up. When school starts back, they'll be able to join.
We'll have the link where you can go on to the 4-H online and join.
Yeah. So they can join and become a part of that. And like I said, you do not have to have an animal. They can do,
We'll find them something to
Paisley
do.
did demonstration day one day and was braiding hair.
Yeah.
So
in the elementary that you can.
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't have to. And if you get them started early, it puts them as part of something that's bigger than them, and then they just kind of follow it through to the end. If you can keep them, engaged, they follow through to high school.
Right.
So it's
and talking about that, that's like Sage. She would never go to 4-H camp. She didn't think her mama needed to be home by herself. So I went over to pick up some kids, and I took her with me one time and rode her around, and I'm like, this is where this will be, and you'll be here, and I'll be here, and we'll do this. And now she went to camp the rest of her elementary, and then when she got in high school, she went back as a counselor and loved it. Like, man, I wish I would have went in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you live and learn.
You live and learn.
And it is scary to be away from your mama as 4th, 5th, and 6th grader for a week.
I had to go get Paisley after 2 days at camp in Pineville one time.
Yep. So it just depends.
Wasn't having it.
Every kid's different.
Yeah, she just was not having a good time, and she was like, I just want to come home. Could you please come get me? Now, if that had been you or I, cell phones didn't exist. So
yeah, you was in a bind.
You go into camp and you stay in there for a week.
Yep.
No matter what. So, well, I appreciate you coming.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. It was. I was like, I need to get Chad on here, see what he's got to talk about, because it's like I said, y'all are a big part of our community, whether people realize it or not. 4-H is everywhere. So it's always one of my favorite programs to support. And anytime y'all want to come out, you need to get a message out, you let us know and we'll put it out there.
We'll do it. Thank y'all very much.
Right. Thank you so much. Y'all stay tuned for next week's episode.